Hello, welcome to Sound Bites. I'm your host, Holly Whitfield from the Daily Memphian. I am here with Memphis chef Josh Steiner from Hive, Bagel and Deli, and many other things we're going to talk about. How are you, Josh?
I'm good. I'm glad to be here. It's finally, the weather's broken down a little bit.
Yeah, we're coming into fall. We finally got you on. I feel like I've talked about Hive a million times in the last year on Sound Bites, so it's great to finally have you. Sure. Apologies for taking so long. If you're listening, remember this is Sound Bites. It's the Daily Memphian's dining podcast. It's free, and you can catch all the extended episodes on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or dailymemphian.com in the podcast section. You can also hear new episodes on Thursdays, WYXR Radio at 11 a.m. WYXR is the definition of radio coolness, so we love having a little spot in their Thursday lineup. If you're listening right now on WYXR, keep listening. After this is Eric Barnes, the Daily Memphian CEO, with his Sidebar Arts and Culture and Memphis in General podcast. But let's get back to Josh and get started. For a person who is so young, you have a long history already, great long career in the Memphis dining scene. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about that. Yeah. And we'll kind of walk through it, step people through.
Yeah, I mean, the food industry is definitely something I've wanted to do since I was, very young. And I was fortunate enough that I had a lot of the right people around me to cut the path for me in a way. Like my uncle and dad had a restaurant together in Germantown when I was in middle school and high school. So that was kind of my spot. I got to hang out front of the house and back of the house and really get to learn the culture.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in those years have grown into higher roles in the Memphis culinary scene.
Can you say what restaurant it was?
Yeah, it was a franchise. It was called Russo's New York Pizzeria out in Germantown. And my uncle Brett and my dad, they brought that here in town, and I learned a lot there. But when I was getting out of high school and I was in Arizona, I went back, every summer to go work in that restaurant.
Yeah.
And I was selling cheesecakes that I was making at my parents' house to that restaurant and a few other restaurants. And finally, a couple of the cooks pulled me aside. It's like, do you go to culinary school? Like, these are great. These are fantastic. And I was like, no. Never really thought about that.
Yeah.
And so they kind of, talked to my uncle, talked to my dad, talked to me a whole bunch of times. And it was kind of the kitchen crew that kind of talked me into going to culinary school.
Yes.
So I went to culinary school here in Memphis, Tennessee, called the Cole. And it was great. The instructors became my, great friends. I still talk to them all the time.
Nice.
Jimmy Gentry was one of my instructors, and I saw him yesterday, actually. And so these guys, they kind of gave me a lot of great advice. And after LaCole, I was working with Karen Carrier from the beauty shop. And as I was there, I was working at DKDC for a little bit.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun. I mean, if you've been there, every night is a blast.
Yes.
And at that time, I noticed a spot across the street was vacant in Cooper Young. And I talked to my dad, and I was very passionate, and I been to school, and I already have over 5-6 years of experience in the culinary scene. We decided it was very low rent, and it was way before COVID.
Yes.
We decided to open up we wanted to open up a spot over there. We didn't know what quite yet, and so we decided our family's Italian, Sicilian, Moroccan, and that whole area. So. I talked to my dad and was like, we got to have some competition. And so he sent me over to Sicily, and I did some education over there, and everything I learned from all the different cities I brought back, and the whole lifestyle, making things from scratch, growing a garden, being as true to the ingredient as you can. So we opened up Strano. I don't know if you've been there.
I have went there many times. I lived around the corner for a million years. So It was like this, we're talking about like a place that was Dish, and then it was a bunch of different places.
Oh yeah, it was cursed.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
I don't believe it was cursed.
They said it was cursed.
Yeah, but Strano.
Yeah. And we did everything we could there from scratch. The pizza dough, the bread, the pasta dough, the dessert. Everything was done in-house, and we had a lot of fun over there. We got a lot of awards. We went on the Food Network quite a few times. I did a James Beard celebrity dinner, a whole bunch of wine dinners. So we decided, I guess, I can't remember the years, like 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
We decided to open up out east in the old Jim's Place location.
Yes.
Great spot. It's big. It's beautiful kitchen. COVID happened.
Right.
And right after our like first 6 months, 8 months, almost a year into it. So we had to refocus everything, just like everyone else did. And a lot of restaurateurs got silent or they got loud. Either way, they're trying to scramble to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
At that time, I also got married.
Yes.
And my wife is great with branding and design. And we closed down Strano, and we didn't want to give up on the restaurant world.
Yes.
So we thought, what was the city missing? What was it missing? And with Strano, we made everything in-house. When I realized outside of Strano was when I'd go out to eat, a lot of places were using store-bought bread or not so fresh of product.
Right, like distributor.
Correct.
Bread,
Mm-hmm.
right.
And that was kind of frustrating because I was working so hard, and I'm like, hey, how's this place pulling this off? And I couldn't do whatever. So my wife and I decided that there's something missing in the city, and it was bagels.
Yeah.
There's no bagels in our whole city. The great bagel shop out east was closed. We have a couple of Paneras and an Einstein at that time, but Einstein's gone here in our town.
Right.
So there was really nothing going on. And so I talked to my wife, and we're like, bagels is great. We're going to do bagels, pizza, beer, then bagels and pastry. Like, we couldn't figure out, but we know we wanted bagels to be it.
Yes.
And so
there was a bagel hole-sized hole in all of our hearts.
I love that.
It's sorry.
You're good. And so we decided to get the further education to kind of hone the skills. And so I went to San Francisco at the Bacon Institute, got a whole bunch of certifications from there, and the Valrhona Chocolate School in New York for, master classes in pastry. And I was in classes with people from, like, the executive chef from the Four Seasons from Washington, the King's Hawaiian family, the guy that wrote the Outback, rye bread. So it's interesting networking. And I learned how to scale things to large, small scale, bake for factory size or not. But I learned a lot, and there's a lot of networking. So when I came back to Memphis from those educational trips, I knew I wanted to open up a bagel shop, and not just a bagel shop. I wanted to create bread and opportunities for the city to have fresh product. A lot of places I worked at in San Francisco, or the place I worked at, Neighborhood Bakehouse San Francisco, had 2 kitchens. One kitchen just to deliver wholesale to all the coffee shops, hotels, restaurants around.
Anybody who needed
area.
fresh bread.
Anyone that wanted quality. And I was like, that's interesting. And outside of that, next door, he had his storefront. And his storefront was very small. It was a little pickup window. It was like all it was. But they're 2 different revenue streams, 2 different paces, 2 different worlds under one roof. And I was like, there's nothing like that in our city. So I thought I could do this.
Yes.
And so I came back. Rent is high everywhere.
Right.
And so I reached out to some friends, and Kelly English is a friend of mine. And I noticed he had a office kitchen, could be for rent near where I lived in Midtown. And after like 2 conversations, he's like, Josh, great idea. Please use it. So he gave me, a very good cost for rent. And I started, there's a lot more to it, but I had to put a whole bunch of bagel equipment in there and stuff like that. We started selling to coffee shops, hotels, restaurants. And if you knew, you could place a pickup order and come pick it up at certain hours. And it helped us build our brand.
Right. So this is a little spot kind of off the corner right down the street from Second Line, like across from Circuit Playhouse. Yeah. I was one of those people that knew and made a pickup order. You had a lot of bagel equipment in a small place in there, and you still have that location in Midtown for your wholesale.
Yeah. We have it for now. I guess now's a good time.
Now's a good time.
So we do plan on opening up out east as well.
This is really, really great news.
Yeah. And so all that equipment will be moved out east, so you could see it all on display and stuff like that.
Well, tell us about the downtown Hive Bagel location, though, and how things are going. Because when I went, there was a line.
Yeah.
And it moved fast and it was great. And it was so exciting to see all the people there.
Yeah.
So you open the wholesale. location and secret pickup in Midtown in like 2000.
Oh man.
3?
Yeah, we'll go with 2003.
2023? Yeah. And then about a year or so later,
we were building out downtown and building the brand. And so when as soon as we were ready, I believe it was like September of that year, we opened up downtown.
Yes.
You make fresh product, you work hard, and you execute the product well, people will show up. And like you said, there's still, definitely on the weekends, there's a line. But the line, we try to move it fast.
Yeah.
It's bagels, toasted cream cheese, turkey sandwiches, stuff like that. But I'm I am surprised on the feedback that we have gotten, because when you make something, up until this point, I was training for 3 years, before, that first person walked in that door. And I'm just very happy with the feedback I've gotten.
What's been some of that feedback?
I'm so happy. Reminds me of a bakery in New York, reminds me of, we get that a lot, a bagel shop bakery from New York, but we get people from Paris and things like that, say how these pastries, stand up against those. And in my head, I'm like, oh man, they could be baked better, or, we could roll it different. But it's been well. I've had, most of my staff's been there for a very long time. I care a lot about my staff. I train them hard, and what they learn is real skills. And they take pride in it. So downtown was very hard to do, but it's a lot of fun. My bakers get there at 4:15 a.m. But we close at 2. So, their shifts are short, or not short, but they have a full day after. Yeah. They seem to like that.
But that's the baker's life. You got to get up super early, get in there, get that done.
Absolutely.
But you do kind of have this setup a little bit, tell me if I'm wrong, in the downtown spot where you go in, you've got, your counter and your people taking your order and some products on the table, but then people can look and see through the glass wall. They can see everybody making the pastries, making the bagels. So you kind of have that.
That was done by design.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
People can kind of see in the fishbowl of
Well, like if you go to New York or Paris and you go to a high-end coffee shop or even a bagel shop, you'll see layers of bagels or baskets of bagels or tubs of cream cheese. Or on the other side, you'll see someone in the back putting things in and out of the oven. And I wanted to capture that. And it's a really tight feel. There is a flow through when you walk in. We're kind of forcing you to walk by that window.
Yes.
So you could see, a laminator, someone folding it. It's very, I call it romantic, the way we work with the dough over there. But as you turn your head again, you see all the pastries that person is making. So it's like you see the before, you see the after, then you look up and you see all the bagels. And then you can see a menu and order and enjoy. But that's kind of the whole New York vibe I was trying to capture there.
So I want to talk a little bit about the menu at Hive, and then I want to go back and ask you a bunch of questions about your story that you should share with us.
Let's do it. Okay.
So at Downtown Hive, that there's going to be an Eastern Hive at some point soon.
Eastern Hive.
Eastern Hive.
Yeah, we'll coin that.
For the Eastern Memphis. Okay, but we're talking about downtown now. You've got a bunch of different bagel and cream cheese flavors that you can order just like that.
Yes.
Then there's the bagel sandwiches, the bagel and lox. Like the portions are generous, like surprisingly so. Like that is a big
bagel.
A big bagel.
Yeah,
it's really good. So you have a whole list of those. You got one with chicken on it. You've got a pizza bagel.
Yeah.
Then you've got other sandwiches. I don't even know if those were there when I was there. And
we've added some.
Yeah. So there's, a ton over here. There's an Elvis bagel.
That's a good set. Well, some people change that up. And there's some wild combinations I've seen.
Such as?
Well, so the Elvis bagel is usually like a plain or a cinnamon raisin bagel that's toasted with peanut butter, banana, and bacon and honey from our beehives.
Yes.
And some people will add like strawberry cream cheese to it. So strawberry cream cheese, peanut butter, honey, banana, and bacon.
Oh man.
If that's you out there, I apologize for calling you out. But we won't say it's gross.
They're strong.
Weird. Yeah.
They must be strong. And then don't sleep on the pastries though.
No.
Because we
work so hard on those.
Yes. I mean, it's croissants, it's Tell us about them. These cubes,
The
these
cubes are
crazy
good.
cubes.
Yeah, we started out making really big cubes. And then to get those cubes, I had to talk to someone in China for the tariffs, of course, to custom make these molds for me.
Yeah.
And I had to reach back out to them, and it took about 6 months to get the new ones in. They're half the size because our cubes were big. I don't know, they were 6 inches by 6 inches. Now they're 2.5 by 2.5. And they're really cool. I mean, it's a cube-shaped croissant that we stuff with a filling, a topping, and a garnish. Right now, it's a pumpkin spice, like a key lime pie type filling, but it's a pumpkin spice flavor with dolce pastry cream and maple gel. It's really cool. But yeah, the cube's cool. We changed that out, and I have some new molds coming that I'm very excited about.
Okay. Spheres.
Offer the large cube.
By request. It's just so big.
Yeah.
It's so big.
You have to get it and like share it with like 4 people, but
Yeah.
I want to, maybe I just want to buy it. So
Well, the small one's really not that small.
It's not that
It's like this big. It's the size of a croissant.
yeah. Love that. What's the most popular pastry?
Ooh, the Queen Amman,
Okay.
which is it looks like a little flower croissant ball type thing that we have on a pedestal. It's our croissanto that we roll in sugar and dip in vanilla bean syrup, then roll in sugar again. So it's like a baked French donut that has like a crusty, sugary, like brulee touch to it, but it's like spongy and juicy and vanilla on the inside. That's actually the pastry that got me into I wanted to learn how to make that, and then I was like, oh, let me try croissants.
Yes.
It's delicious.
What is the most popular bagel and cream cheese flavor?
Everything bagel,
on-
chive and onion cream cheese.
Yeah.
By far.
By far.
By far.
Yeah. I'm a bell pepper, sun-dried tomato girl myself.
It's like a pizza.
Yeah.
I love it.
What's your favorite? Is that like...
So we just started some new flavor bagels. We have a blueberry sugar bagel now. That's
Nice.
really good. And then we have a jalapeno cheddar bagel with jalapenos in it and on top of it and cheddar and stuff. I like the jalapeno cheddar bagel on the chop sandwich, which is like a barbecue sandwich that we smoke. We smoke the chicken and corned beef all in house and everything like that.
Wow.
So this is a, if we can't make from scratch, that's like what I've learned in the past.
Yeah.
So it's a barbecue. It's called a chicken chop because everything's chopped bite size in there. So it's great for a bagel, so things aren't just like getting pulled left or right.
Yes. Sandwich construction is
It's
very important.
Yeah, yeah. But the other one is the rosemary sea salt. Just that with like butter and jam.
Yeah.
Like I eat that daily.
Yeah.
I try to if I remember.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, like I said, I'm going to go back. I had a couple of questions.
For sure.
From Strano. I want to talk about brunch, but first I want to ask you a selfish question, because I think about the butternut squash brunch pizza that you guys had. I think you had it at both Strano locations.
Yeah.
I know I got it. I would always go and sit at the bar whenever y'all were at East at like Perkins at the old Jim's place. Like whenever y'all were there, and sit at the bar and get that pizza. What is on it?
Yeah.
Why is it so good? Why does no one know what I'm talking about? I think people are like, oh, they just want pizza. So they just want the regular pizza sauce. But I loved the butternut squash.
It was good. Well, we only did brunch at Strano Saturday and Sunday. And we didn't do it until Strano, its whole life lasted 7 years. So we only did it on the last 4 years. So when we started doing brunch, that was the first thing on the menu.
Yeah.
Because I was trying to think of a breakfast pizza.
Yes.
But it's so good. So the sauce is basically like a savory butternut squash soup, if you will, like a creamy soup. So we roast the butternut squashes with sage, garlic, oregano, salt, pepper. Then we puree it with a little heavy cream and butter. And then more garlic and more seasoning. And I don't believe, it's been years, but I believe there's also about, depending on the volume, but I believe we'll go percentage. I believe there's about 5% Parmesan in whatever the volume is.
Yes. Yes, very important.
That it's key because it's good. But it's very simple. It's our fresh pizza dough. Definitely we use stone oven over there, and cooked at 450, I believe, which I feel like is important. So hand rolled dough, but the sauce was that butternut squash savory base, and I believe it had our cheese blend, which we blended ourselves, which I can't believe I remember. It's like muscle memory. But it was provolone, Asiago, Parmesan, mozzarella, and fontina were the 5 cheeses that we blend on every pizza. So I had that blend on there with red onions, prosciutto, and then we crack 3 eggs right on top. And then we throw it in the oven. And when it comes out of the oven, those eggs are still, they're cooked, but they're not dry, if that makes sense. We top it with fresh olive oil, a little oregano, and a little Parmesan on the crust. And that's the breakfast pizza.
Yeah, that was stellar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why more people aren't making breakfast pizzas. And I know some people are doing breakfast tacos, but
it was so easy.
The people cry out for it.
Yeah, it was
the
good.
People are me. Yeah.
Yeah, but brunch is wild. Brunch definitely, I feel like, molded my my stress.
Yeah. I guess it's sort of like a necessary. I don't want to say necessary evil, but would you say it's a necessary evil for restaurants?
Yeah,
it can be.
If you're running a lunch or dinner place and you're not open, well, it's up to the owner and what they want to do. But brunch is such an opportunity that you shouldn't pass on. And that's one of the reasons why I saw how big, if you're just a lunch place, you do really well at lunch. If you're a breakfast place, you do really well at breakfast. If you're a dinner place, you sometimes have to bring in lunch or breakfast or something like that. Sometimes, depending on, it's hard. So yes, they have to find a solution.
Yes.
But what I realized was, what if I just do a breakfast place, and I do it well? I mean, it wouldn't be like brunch from a dinner place. We'd be prepped and ready to go. It's the same menu every day. It'd be, a different world. And so that's also, I wanted to get away from the brunch life.
Yeah.
But I don't mind doing breakfast.
Right.
I actually prefer it now.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, there was definitely a moment in Cooper Young, and, I'm in my mid-20s, and it's like unlimited mimosas. I know you did.
Yeah, hundreds of bottles of champagne.
Dangerous stuff. I don't know if that's really at the top of like what's on trend right now anymore.
It's a good point.
Like with people going out for brunch as much, but it was like what we were doing at the time.
The term, I don't know if it's outdated, but it was lit.
It was lit.
It was lit.
Yeah, I mean, it was lit. It was a good time, but I'm sure that it was very hard on the people that were serving us.
Yeah, I mean...
or it could be.
Tough.
Sometimes I'm sure it was a great day and it was fun and you made good money, and I'm sure other days brunch can be rough. But let's talk about something nice and beautiful, and that's something that has gone all through all of your restaurants and everything, all your projects, all your products. It's bread. Live bread. You've got pastries, you've got pizza dough, you've got bagels.
Yeah, it's my love language.
Yeah. Is it just the getting the perfect ratio? Is it all the factors that you have to get just right?
It's something that when I had when I was at Toronto, I was making plates, like I got this satisfaction. I was behind the line almost every night, working the line. And all day I'd set up prepping, let's just call it a chicken parmesan. I'm breaking down the chicken, cutting it, pounding it, breading it, baking it, and then bringing it to a plate. I just experienced a full completion of a project. With bread, I get that same satisfaction. I build the recipe in my head. I forecast how it's going to roll, and I get the measurements, the ratios, and I do it, and I watch it all the way through. And then I get to eat it.
Yes.
And I love it. But bread is it's somewhat of a lifestyle. Like, I'm friends with people that grow rice and wheat, and I hear their stories. Next week, I'm meeting a farmer that's one of my customers who grows wheat. He drops off wheat berries often to me to grind, and I'm going to go check out his combine or whatever. He just wants to show me his stuff. And it's relationships that I'm getting out of it. And I have friends that are getting into sourdough now because it's a big trend.
Oh, yeah.
They're calling me and restarting friendships and things like that. I'm happy I went down the bread route because it's obviously paying off between friendship and career and everything like that. But I definitely got into it just because that back in Sicily, we were making our own bread, making our own pasta. And at Toronto, we're doing the same thing.
Right.
And if you're making bagels, you can't buy bagels if you're a bagel shop.
Yeah.
So I got to figure that out. But I was very passionate about it. No one told me to go back to San Francisco besides my wife after I brought up the idea. But it's something I have a lot of joy doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it shows. There's different styles of bagels?
Yeah, for sure.
Question mark?
Yeah.
Help us break down a couple of those and what makes a bagel a good bagel.
I'll do the best I can.
Yeah. This is just from your perspective.
Yeah, my perspective. I'm a bagel shop guy. I know bagels. So there's multiple bagels. Oh gosh, there's different sizes, different locations, different water. Okay.
Yes.
So there's Montreal
water
bagel.
is something that's really interesting to me too.
Our water is very unique. I'll get into that. So Montreal bagels are more airy, and it's somewhat of a fermented dough, and its seasonings are packed on both sides, and it's a Montreal style bagel. It's from Montreal.
Daniel Blanchard's.
Correct. It's really crusty on the outside, really spongy, soft on the inside, and it has its purpose. It's a great bagel. My bagel is a little bit different. When I was in New York, I went to as many bagel shops as I possibly could. Anytime I'm in New York, not just one time. And I really found that I like something called bull bagels, B-U-L-L, and they're big, large, round bagels. Now there's something called the knock test in Brooklyn, where they take a bagel and they knock it on a table to see if it makes that crust sound.
Yeah.
And it's really soft,
Sort of
just on the center.
Like the crust is kind of crackling on the outside.
Cracking is the term. Yeah, not bending, cracking. And I liked those bagels, but I realized they're really hard to enjoy the next day. And then there is the bull bagel, which is soft on the outside. So when you toast it, you get crust on both sides and stuff like that. That was my favorite. And so to get bull bagel, I had to figure out the right ratio and size and texture. And then now we have to talk about water.
Yes.
So New York gets their water, correct me, you don't have to correct me, but let's see if I'm right.
Yeah.
Their water from an aquifer from maybe Buffalo or something like that. And so when I was up in New York, I talked to a couple of people and they told me that's, their water, for the city comes from there. They don't have to buy water, whatever. And the mineral content on it at that time, I got the sheet. And I went to Memphis, where I live, and I did, I got the same water test, and it was pretty close.
Yeah.
So our aquifer is pretty similar to New York's aquifer. So somehow, coincidentally, our water is pretty similar. And I can't remember if it's a little soft or if it's a little hard, but the water is pretty much there. And the next question is if we're adding a sweetener such as malts, honey, beer, syrup, people add different things into the water if they boil their bagels. Some people don't even boil their bagels.
Yeah.
Which is, I can't even tell you where they do that, but they should boil their bagels.
They should.
They should. And so we use honey from our beehives in our water to boil our bagels. And so the different kinds you could say is Montreal and I guess classic bagel, but you could get really specific, like I was talking about size and texture. Crust and things like that. So our oven is baked our bagels are baked in our oven at 350, which probably sounds really low. But that's because our oven could literally fit 400 bagels at one time. Like it could fit 6 people laying down. I know that sounds morbid to say, but
it does, but that's okay. We're talking about bagels now.
Yeah, we're talking about bagels. Yeah, that's a visual cue. And so it's really big. And so to hold that oven temperature correctly, that's our sweet spot, just by experience.
So you have bull bagels. That's your kind.
Bull bagels, a little soft on the outside. They last longer. They toast up well.
Yeah.
They make a great stacked bagel lox or, turkey sandwich.
Well, that was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm always curious. People are always like, oh, we can't make this kind of bagel in Memphis because we don't have the right air or we don't have the right water. Like, I don't even know. We don't have the right
vibes.
Yeah, the ferries here are different. They're not sprinkling the bagel ferries aren't, I don't know. It always seems so like esoteric, mystical, magical. So
right.
You're breaking it down. You mentioned your hives a couple times.
Yeah.
You got into beekeeping in the pandemic or before?
Yeah, I'll try to go through the bees real fast because it's so cool.
Yes.
So we have beehives. It started with one bee, or I asked my wife, like, hey, can I get bees? And at first she said she was iffy, but her grandfather's name is Bee. And so she's like, oh, that'd be sweet. I kind of leaned on that a little bit.
Yes.
So I got a beehive and we watched the beehive from our window. We see it in the backyard and we started noticing some personality out of the hive. Mm-hmm. Like it'd be doing dances above the hive. All the bees would do this rotation dance before they come in the hive. Or I'd see the bees wrap up, like spit things outside of the hive, like pick it up and throw it. It's just amazing. So I got really interested in the bees because I was like, this is what's going on.
Yeah.
And so I got 2 more hives. So now I have 3 hives.
Okay.
And they're all next to each other.
So far, 3 hives.
And one of them has windows on the side so I could actually see what's going on. And I'm noticing this whole world going on. These bees, like there is a cockroach that went into one.
Oh no.
And they wrapped it. They wrapped it in like this, it's called propolis now that I learned, like in this sticky stuff to mummify it. And then they threw it out. And it was amazing. So
this is the Halloween episode.
Yeah. So these
bites.
bees are wild. But I also noticed when I pulled honey, they're all different colors and textures.
Yeah.
So even though the hives are 2 feet apart at that time, we're getting different color honey from each hive, which was wild to me. People may have already known that. I didn't.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So we decided to name each hive.
Okay.
So there's queens in each hive, and the queens now can decide which pollen to get, and they're not going to fight over the area because they all got to, they work together but separate. I mean, they steal honey from each other, but we'll get into that another time.
Yeah.
And so we named the hives. I think it was Varla, Margarita, and Beyonce were our first 3 hives, and we still have them, and we sell their honey. And so we only jar up by the queen. And so we've had up to, I believe, like 18 hives at one time. And now it's maybe about half that. But they produce so much honey. We have a lot of honey right now. And I have to jar up probably 80 gallons of honey this week. But if you go to our store downtown, you could buy this honey and you could see the queen's name on the side of the jar.
Yeah.
And it's all super fresh. But we use that honey in the water, which is uber local to our city for allergens and things like that.
That is
but that's
amazing.
Not a story.
That is amazing. Yeah. I am so scared of bees. I've had 2 really bad allergic bee stings. So I've always been like, I don't like bees. But then people like, big bee PR in the last 10 years has really been putting in the work to make us all be like, love bees. Yeah. I'm still wary. Save the pollinators. I'm like, we don't know if that bee is a pollinator or an a-hole. I don't know. A bad bee. Yeah. But I love hearing about this, and I love that they're in your space, and that's great. That I can come just get the honey, and I don't have to get near it myself. Well, this has been a very educational and mouthwatering conversation. Thank you so much, Josh. We're really excited that you're expanding out east. We know that you're going to share more details with us later on this year or next, and we'll be right on top of that at the Daily Memphian. That is just about all the time that we have today. I did want to say, if you're a fan of the Daily Memphian, or you're a fan of local news, or just of podcasts, a couple months ago, our editorial director, Mary Casciola at the Daily Memphian, launched a newish now daily, only on weekdays, Monday through Friday, podcast called the AMDM, and it's just a couple minutes long. It's about 10 minutes long, ish, give or take, and it just gives you a rundown of the news from that day and the day before. Just what have you missed? So it's really easy to just subscribe to that. It comes out early in the morning, and you can hear from reporters at the Daily Memphian. You can hear from our beautiful, lovely producer, Natalie Van Gundy. You, of course, hear from Mary. She is interviewing our reporters here. And some of these conversations are so interesting, and because you're really getting behind the scenes of the stuff that maybe we didn't get to publish online. Sometimes there's some drama, sometimes there's just some jokes, but really, again, it's super fast and easy to stay up to date on what's going on in local politics and everything coming up. I haven't done a big plug for this yet, but I've been a big fan. So go and subscribe to that. And if you're not already subscribing to this podcast, Soundbites, please do. And that way you won't miss any of our great interviews with people in the Memphis food and dining scene, like today's guest, Josh Steiner from Hive Bagel and Deli. We've had Harrison Downing and Cole Jeans from Hard Times and Kinfolk. We've had DJ Naylor and Rennie Alfonso from Celtic Crossing and Bog and Barley and Maeve's Tavern. Before that, we had the folks from Memphis Whistle, Jeff Hicks and Amanda Hicks. We've had so many great people on this year. Earlier this year, we had Gina Neely from the Food Network. That was a really great interview. So go back and listen to the Billion Million episodes. That is the end of my soapbox spiel for today. Thank you so much for listening. Find the story that goes with this podcast at dailymemphian.com, stream on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. And thank you so much, Josh. It's been amazing.
For sure. Had a blast.